Pick Nunu. Got
Pick Nunu. Pick Nunu at all times. That's all you need to know. But yes, we're going to jump into picks and bans. Our final picks and bans of the day. RA back on the blue with LNG on the red. And this time around, we're going to see pretty much the same bans, but LNG keeping up that Jax. And they're banning this area as well. They're saying, look, we know how good this is. We just showed you how good it can be. And the Kalista shall not be getting through either.
Yeah, so now RA back on blue side, and you know they go back to the sort of bans they had, but Kalista now taken away. Bear in mind the Wukong is left available, so RA looking to first pick that, it seems.
See what they end up doing is the Nidalee has not, as you mentioned, has not been banned. And yeah, honestly, I like this. I think you got nothing else to lose. Go nuts. Go for something crazy. Because you got nothing else to do, really. I think it's at this point in the season where, you know, as much as I don't like saying it, RA are out of playoffs. They are no longer fighting for position, but they can make it a hell of a harder time for LNG.
The problem is, though, the issue I have is, why do you need to first pick the Nidalee, right? Like, LNG aren't going to take the Nidalee. I don't think so, anyway. And so by picking it, it's like, you know, you could have potentially taken Renekton yourself and then had Nidalee Renekton, because LNG deny that combo. Bot lane for LNG once again going Lucian Nami, but that means they've kind of like confirmed they're going Nami on 3. So RA have options here. They can pick a bot lane to counter this, or they could pick like, you know, a top laner, and LNG can't answer because they have to lock in Nami on 3. And it looks like that's the direction they go. So they go Gnar. Bear in mind, Gnar got nerfs. That means his counter matchups are a bit more painful. But LNG, they can't pick a top laner on 3. So you've got this Gnar in a pretty free matchup. They're also going to take LeBlanc, which has got some good setup and is really strong if it is into the Renekton. I think both these lanes are good into Renekton. And LNG, as expected, they have to take the Nami. This is kind of the downside of taking the Lucian Nami and only taking half on that first 2.
Yeah, but we could see, actually, honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised to see a Sejuani ban come out here from RA. Just kind of take that away. Don't get that energy up for Tarzan and, of course, Doomb again. As the Lulu does get banned away. And this is where they're going to start. You don't know what 80 carry you're going to go for. So instead of taking away 80 carries as such, you could just turn around and say, we'll take away the supports that will do well into this, into this combination.
Yeah, I think Lulu and probably Nautilus, I would want to ban away here, especially when you have a Nidalee as well, because given Nidalee lanes that have lockdown CC to play through, it's definitely painful. RA get rid of the Diana, makes a lot of sense. Renekton Diana has been a really potent combo, but like you said, maybe the Sejuani follows through or something else they want to take away, and LNG do go for that Nautilus ban.
Take away the Nautilus. Diana has been taken off the board here, so they're trying to just deny those AP kind of options. I have seen Tarzan take the Elise in recent days, so I personally wouldn't recommend it as an old Elise main myself, but they are going to take away some of those more AP-heavy solo laners. So kind of just denying the AP options away from LNG and kind of saying to Panacea, look, you're kind of like relying on either getting an AP jungler or you're going to have to take something like the Kennen or maybe the Akali into the top side.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like regardless, LNG should just take the jungle here, and I think you want a bit more information before you take the top laner. But I mean, maybe like it also keeps the Renekton up as a flex, right? That's what I would do. Potentially looking at this Vi, which I think makes a lot of sense, you know, into like the Gnar, being able to pin down the mini Gnar, being able to pin down Nidalee, LeBlanc, like the point and click stun has a lot of value. Strongly skirmishing around the Renekton Vi as well, a lot of point and click and just lockdown in general. Now, RA, this is the challenge, because I think the first 3 of the draft they're happy with, but you have to work out what you're doing with your bot lane. And I think a Aphelios Renata is probably a decent shout, but they seem to be toying with ideas and they end up going with the Xayah Rakan.
Yeah.
So there's positives to this. The good thing is that like Lucian, if he ever dashes in, there's the threat of the feathers, right? He can be locked down by the Rakan, feathers can come in, you're stunned, you're dead. It's also very good into the rest of LNG's composition, right? The Renekton, the Vi, if this Galio comes through. But the lane can be a bit painful because Rakan isn't the most threatening support. Like early levels, if Lucian goes heavily in and like you try and W him, they can just flash it and you're probably dead. So a weekend bot lane for RA, but it should scale up nicely. And LNG lock in the Galio mid. So something we've seen quite a bit into LeBlanc, obviously. The Galio, quite a bulky target, has the magic damage shield on W, hard for the LeBlanc to burst through. But this is very much like LNG want to really, I mean, both, I'm just going to say it, both teams have like kind of win lane, win game compositions. I'd say LNG's is more extreme, but RA definitely need momentum in their comp as well.
For sure. I feel like both these sides really honestly, just even the series alone are so dependent on those early momentum, those early moves to get themselves into a good position. Both teams finding 1 or 2 kills that just led to bigger and better things. And it feels like this game shall be no different. For Leyen on this Nidalee, we saw it against IG earlier on last week. This is going to be another pick for him that's like, right, should people be banning it? So far, so good. He's been able to have a pretty decent win rate on it, but he needs to keep pushing that kind of point as such to try and make sure he's getting the best out of it.
I'm just gonna say, dude, I feel like this game is gonna be such a absolute fiesta. I'm just seeing it, right? Like, the champs in this game, everyone's gonna be out for blood. Like, you know, when people talk about the LPL, and you know, it's honestly true, especially with the durability changes. Like, LPL is a fast-paced region, but you know, everyone talks about like the LPL, just bloodthirsty gameplay. I'm hoping, but I'm really expecting this to be one of those. This to be just absolute, from minute 1 until like 30 minutes when someone stands triumphant, absolute scenes, fighting, non-stop action.
Yeah, and this feels like the two teams are going to be able to kind of send us to it, but whoever gets the momentum is going to have the advantage as we jump in for our final game of the day, and already looking to be a bit more aggressive and get some early information out of LNG.
Yeah, so for a Nidalee, it's very important to track the enemy jungler, because one of the things that Leyen always does, and most Nidalees do, is invading. The reason Nidalee is so effective is if you land like a spear on a low health target like a Vi, then you can just kill them. There's no other way to spin it. You will just jump in and kill them. And it's actually very hard to punish the Nidalee, because this early in the levels, you have to like sack waves to try and come over. But Nidalee's so mobile, being able to jump over terrain, hard to pin down. It can honestly just run you rampant and you lose that in lanes. So I expect to see Leyen looking for that. You do see LNG, sadly, they stack here thinking that they're going to get like an invade for vision on the bot side. You even have 2 wards placed in the river to see them coming, but they picked the wrong side of the map. You know, I have to credit LNG had a good level 1 strategy last game, and this time it doesn't pay off.
And I gotta take a quick note. Cube, using the information that Panda C was already moving towards that brush, means that he's able to kind of gain control of the pixel brush, or not the pixel brush, the tri brush, excuse me. But I want to say that Doomby back out with the dark technology, shall we say, taking the ghost and the aftershock this time around. So kind of saying, look, I don't need the predator. I don't think it's good enough anymore. I'm going to take this summoner spell instead, so I can get to the position faster and then have the aftershock for the extra stats. So curious enough there that Doomby kind of looking to try and innovate on the classic Galio setup in mid.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like the movement speed is just a lot lower early, so not as bad. Ooh, nice all in.
Good all in, but Light's now here, and you can see iBoy getting ignited means he has to immediately back away. So both supports using their ignites, but I do feel like it's iBoy who comes out a little bit worse for wear.
Sorry, I just sneezed.
We're both sneezing today.
Yeah,
I
feel the little. You gotta take it, you gotta take it.
All right, you go for it. You get your sneeze on, buddy. And we can see Tarzan taking away the Raptors. This is gonna be interesting now. Leyen is already in towards this bot side. He's already gonna be. He's looking, but he's gonna be spotted out. But you didn't flash up Light. Waits a little bit too long and finally does end up using that summoner, but that was a bit risky, and all of a sudden you're looking at a the spear landing as well. That means
come on, Luma, you have vision.
this is kind of getting a bit dicey all of a sudden for LNG. And you talked about Fiesta. We're going straight up to the top side as Panda C takes a very favorable trade into Cube.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is like Renekton, as much as I feel like the Nars gonna be pretty comfortable late in the matchup, level 2 Panda C level 3 is able to find him, able to put some pressure down, and that mini Gnar is a lot squishier, especially in the early levels.
Light. He does have a dash away, and this is the problem with Zora. You go in at level 2, you don't have a way of getting out as level 2, and that means that you're going to be in a much, much worse position. Leyen is now here, but he does not have smite, so he's going to need the help of his mid laner, but looks like it might be a bit of a 2v2. There's no blue buff here on Leyen, so they know that his top side has not been taken yet.
Yeah, and the problem is the bot lane from LNG starting to move up into the river, and that should be enough. Leyen's just not going to be able to secure this. And actually, if you look, topside Skull's being secured by Panda C. So actually, really nice denial here from LNG as a whole. Panda C doing a good job to make sure Leyen can't just go topside and get a Scuttle himself. Still has his topside camps to clear, though, so that's going to be fine. But look, gank coming in here.
Yeah, they're going to try and re-engage on this. Zora's going to need to get back on this. Nearly gets hit by the bubble. They're trying to figure out who they're going for. Whoa, okay.
Fancy
Zora,
footwork.
fancy footwork keeps him alive, but that is a summoner down now again in bot side.
Yeah, I mean, able to really do a decent amount of in terms of being the summoner, but I think Zora, the fact he W'd in, then used the dash to reposition, avoided that, is pretty solid. But still, as you said, summoner being a positive for LNG. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I sold you. We haven't had any kills yet, Sheen, but we've had action.
It has been the most action-packed 0-0 kill game I've had in a very, very long time. But yeah, and now we can see with the mini narc coming out for Cube, he needs to be very careful with how far he wants to push up onto this. But the Renekton should be able to clear out this wave, and it's going to be hard for Cube to really gain any kind of meaningful advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it just gets to a point where it's a bit painful because, like, Cube starts to do damage, right, later on. Like, level 3, Renekton poses a threat, but when you get to, like, level 6, you have to really respect the Mega Gnar. When Cube gets a few levels in his abilities, like, the 40 health nerf was 40 base health, hits hardest at, like, level 1, 2, 3, like, early levels, right? Once you're late in the game, it's not as big of an issue. You start to get that scaling health, scaling armor coming in, and Panda C can get chunked out and not necessarily have an all-in window.
Oh, Lumao flashes away, does land the bubble, but they're kind of divided on who they wanted to go for there. That feels like a bit of a mistake there from Light and not really focusing on the target who was CC'd in front of him.
Yeah, so they didn't really get to trade back, but to be honest, here's the difficulty, is if you dash into iBoy, you're going to get feathers and beaten up. And if you try and chunk out Zora, he's just so mobile. And this is kind of what you're seeing, what I was talking about. You know, Panda C closes the gap, but takes a lot of damage in return. A level 5 hit.
Oh, Doonby does have the aftershock after getting the knock up there from the heroic charge, but now we're going to see an ultimate available. This is the burst damage. Cube doesn't have himself a hop just yet. He finally does flash away. And the top lane will still not give us any kills. No blood has been spilled, but a hell of a lot of bones have been broken because both these sides are going toe for toe.
Oh, we've just seen battles. And actually, Cube doesn't have teleports. He's in a much worse position. Does have level 6 now, though, and is about to hit Mega. So, I mean, I got a real...
Oh, Panda C, though. Panda C gets himself underneath the tower, and Cube fully capitalized. Panda C not having a great time at all. Now Tarzan going to try and see if he can deal with this support jungle combination of RA, and this is so scrappy right now, Ox.
How do you not see... Like, I saw the mega bar. You saw the mega bar. I don't know. I don't know why he thought he'd be able to burst him out there before it came in. Like, there was still a good amount of health left on Cube before, like, you'd have to do like an extra 150 damage, I think, or something. Just, you can't just pull that damage out of nowhere. And then obviously Cube hits Mega and it's like, well, you're dead. Like, flat out. Like, he has ult. So, very messy from Panda C. And now LNG trying to contest this red, but RA collapsing.
I mean, Strife's now been caught out a little bit. No level 6 though on Tarzan. That's a huge chunk of damage onto him. Doonby does have Ghost, but shall not be able to catch out Strife. And little moments like that, and you can see now Lumao, he might be in a little bit of trouble here, but does have decent vision, knows where Leyen is hiding, so not going to be able to gain anything here as RA, as they can just see that Leyen's just trying to keep his advantage in the farming camp's way.
Yeah, and you kind of look like Leyen is 10 CS up, Strive is like 15 CS up, bot lane is a little bit behind, but not by much for RA. But I mean, like, look at the mega bar and track the health. Okay, maybe 150, 112, so not quite 150 health. But still, like, he needed an extra 112 damage to kill him.
2 auto attacks minimum.
Like,
probably
it's just not happening when you burn all your cooldowns. And then obviously, like, he's gonna hit Mega if you don't instantly kill him. So he gets that extra health and then turns it around. But yeah, I feel like this is just Panda C, like, being like, I have to get ahead. I'm ahead in the lane. I have to kill him, and just over forcing. Yeah,
it does mean that the lane ends up kind of in a very much an equal state, if you will. You both have your steel-plated toe caps on both sides, so they're going to be able to kind of mitigate some of that lane harassment. Is now Panda C thinking about going somewhere here in the mid lane. Doonby though going to pop the Ghost. The flash has been used. That's a summoner for a summoner. That's a good roam here from Panda C. He doesn't really lose anything on the other side until the Gnar can push in the wave.
Oh, but Leon's going to stop. He's trying to reset there, I think. I don't know. But either way, he's going to have to go grab that top wave. And yeah, flash down and jump on him. Nice. They're going to try and contest Leon on this.
They're thinking about it.
Panda C's just missed a massive wave, so this is kind of punishing.
But you also have Zora here, but you haven't got the bot lane of LNG just yet, so they're not going to be here in time. It's going to be a 4v5 at the moment, or 4v3 at the moment, in favor of RA, but eventually LNG will get their bot lane here. Cube's going Mega as the Rift Herald respawns. Or resets, I should say. We're going to have some resets coming in of our own, as I think LNG, they just kind of posture a little bit. They kind of lose a lot more than they probably intended, and they don't really gain anything at all, apart from just delaying the Rift Herald being taken.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just start it back up again, because they know they have to respond to the wave. So RA kind of fine with the situation. LNG still trying to contest. Even have Doinby going in for a reset and coming back. This is just like the endless Herald play.
Yeah, the endless Herald play, as we can see, Doinby does not teleport, but does have his ult. So Hero's Entrance is available. 2,000 now on the Rift Herald. It's going to be easily to burst down. Panda C's pop down the ultimate, so the Dominus is there. Strive going to try and CC him down before he can really do anything. There's going to be Lian jumping in as iBoy takes off the first kill. There's a flash in to get the taunt down as Doinby finds 2 people, and that's going to be 2 kills, you would imagine. Why are we following this 1 kill when there's an entire fight happening around Rift Herald? Thank you so much, observers. As we finally come back in here, they're going to try and burst this one down. It is secured by LNG. Can they get
he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
They can't get it, which means they get the local goal, but that's about it.
Yes, 300 gold picked up. Well, 200 local, 100 secured by whoever got the Herald, which I think was Tarzan, but it smites up very soon, so not sure. But regardless, the eye is denied. And yeah, a very sporadic fight. Panda C goes down so quickly. Kind of a mistake from him going for the solo flank here, and they instantly turn. I will say though, this combo that comes in onto Lian, yeah, kind of painful. Doesn't end up taking him out immediately, but so much damage, and Doinby with the follow-up there. Yeah, really well played by that side of LNG, but Panda C a bit of an unfortunate one. And then here, I'm guessing it's the smite that comes in from Tarzan. It's not actually available, so they just secure it, yeah, with the E. But then Lumao tries to go for it. I mean, he didn't have flash, so he was dead anyway. You might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always a fun thing when you see the Nami or the support try to go for it. You just salute at them. It's just we see your efforts and we appreciate you for trying. But that's gonna be local gold, but nothing else here for LNG, as we can have RA getting a little bit of an early start right now. And honestly, I gotta give props, big props to Strive, who's honestly been looking great so far in this game and just chunking out Panda C, getting him CC down. So even though he popped the Dominus, he just got deleted from the map before he had any relevance in that fight. And that could have made that fight very, very different. But now the Dragon has been started. I don't know if you want to go for this one just yet, though, on the side of RA, because you've not got yourself a position in mid.
They want to fight non-stop. They'll go for everything, right? There is no hesitation in this game, Ashin. And it looks like LNG is going to try and contest. Doinby doesn't have his ult yet, though, so he needs to make his way down. Oh, Lumao.
Oh, Lumao, though, he may have said got caught out, but he did pop the blast cone, so got a little bit of a scary moment. I don't know what's going on right now. Tarzan now putting himself behind the pit as Panda C's made himself aware that he is around this bot's side. Cube has not got Mega anytime soon, so it looks like it's just going to be LNG getting themselves a dragon, but it resets. Never mind. We're going to go back into this one as a 5v5 is sure to ensue. It is 12 minutes into the game, Ox!
It's what I was hoping for. It's what I expected. And it is just a non-stop fiesta. LNG trying to posture, but they have to care for the poke. But they are trying to push in. Leon should be able to secure this.
You've got Ghost, though, on Doinby. So do they look to try and find someone on the back of this one? Not quite sure if they really feel confident. No, they back themselves away. Everyone take a breath. Deep breath in.
It was the comps that came in. Just, oh, man, as well. I just knew this game was going to deliver, right?
Banger.
Oh my god, man. Such a chaotic game, I will say. And RA are getting the edges, right? They are 1,500 in the lead. They got that Mountain Dragon, 9% extra armor and MR. I'm going to keep reminding you every single time he gets taken because, you know, that's my thing. Next one's going to be a Cloud, but looking towards that second Herald is something to play for.
Yeah, just so you know, everyone watching, if you ever need to know the percentages of a single dragon, just DM Ox on Twitter. He'll be able to tell you straight away.
Yeah, don't go to the wiki.
No. Don't go to the wiki. Don't go to the patch notes. DM Ox straight away. He will tell you immediately what percentage of benefit you get from each dragon. But Panda C. Oh.
I mean,
okay. I mean,
I guess he wanted the Fury. I guess he wanted the Fury to clear the way, because you know when you pop ultimate, it builds up Fury over time, right? Like with Renekton.
Yeah.
I guess.
True.
I guess he wanted to.
I can see the logic. I don't have to agree with it, but I can see the logic. It's just. I love how we were both just so stunned of because I immediately looked at the mini map. I was like, oh, he must have seen Lian. I was like, Lian's bot. It's Lian's not even close to this. So, yeah, doesn't have the Dominus now, sadly for him. But that's
I don't know, man. Honestly, I probably give Panda an F for that one, not a C. So,
how long you been sitting on that one? How long you been waiting to make a grading of Panda C? God damn it.
Dude, I feel like that's what we should do. Just grade all the plays he makes.
It's like the new, yeah, I was just about to say, it's like, is he a 3, a 6, or a 9? It's like, is he a C, an F, or an A? So is he just Panda C or Panda? Like, you know. We're kind of losing our minds a little bit.
I mean, come on, dude, we have to. I feel like this game is just being scenes. Today has just been chaotic. I feel like, you know, getting towards the end of the split, you know, it's just going a bit wild. Oh, Strive trying to find him.
Yeah, well, you know what would really help Panda C right now would be a Dominus. He would love to have that available to him if he was about to get bursted out, which he might, because a double distortion means that you can pull in the back of that. Oh, sorry, pull up the distance in the back of that fight so damn quickly, and with the Luden's Tempest available for Strife as well, so difficult to really deal with this. And honestly, this is the trade-off. You know, we saw how good a Renekton can be when it gets ahead. We also get to see how bad it can look when it goes behind.
Yeah.
Also, what's he building first item? Oh, he's going for Gore Drinker. Okay,
yes.
interesting.
He's not going the Blade build. He's going Gore Drinker.
Yeah, sorry, I got very confused there for a second. I thought he was going towards, like, I don't know, like a combination of Death Dance and Anathemas or something like that. So my brain is just completely fried.
They keep changing the build paths, man. Yeah, because it used to be Phage, right? Now it's Coldfields as well. Oh.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing now Panda C now being just bullied by everyone. Everyone's just kind of taking a turn as they kind of
finally. Pretty good. That little dodge there, Panda B maybe.
Yeah. Panda D for dodge, but finally has the dominance. This time around, I understand it, to clear out the wave and also to stop the dive, but the quickness comes in, the knock up, the burst is still very, very good here, and they're going to be able to try and burst him all the way down. Lien should just be able to stay alive, and he will do just that. So Panda C tries his very best. I think we'll keep him at a C for the moment. Yeah,
clears the wave out, does go down, at least makes it a little bit difficult for RA. I think that is an accurate Panda C, right?
I wish we had access to the players to be able to ask them. We're like, you know, do you know what we say about you during cast? Do you know what we talk about? Like,
bro, what do you mean?
I did have the only player interaction I've had is when Gala reached out to our producers after the 2021 finals, when I had my Gala call. He said he liked the call, and I was like, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted in this life, was just to have Gala be like, good job. And I was like, there we go, did it. That's the only time I've ever actually interacted, had any sort of interaction with a player. So but it was quite wholesome. It was nice.
Yeah, whereas me, you know, I regularly hang out with Rookie and the Shy, you know.
Oh, yeah, that goes without saying. That goes without saying, like,
you know.
Okay, Rift Herald has been taken. We will see now if LNG can do anything significant with it. But, ooh, okay, Strife thinking about it. And he's going to pull out 2 ultimates. Is he caught, though? Because the other Dragon's all the way back. And, oh! Interrupted. That's going to be a nice assault on the top lane for LNG. And they used a lot, but they got their man.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to pin him down. Even with all the mobility that Strive has, it just wasn't enough to get away. Kind of the reason this Vi I expected came in, that lockdown on these slippery targets, well, it just works. Yeah, and now with the Herald top, they will be able to pick up that first tower off the game. It's traded for Dragon, though, so RA get that one. It's going to be an Infernal Soul. Honestly, pretty good here for RA. The extra burst from those Nidalee Spears from LeBlanc, quite nice. And Herald even gets the second charge, so LNG keeping the gold close, but still down 2 dragons, and we'll get a replay. So Strive had information here. So obviously saw the Scuttle fade off. Sees them on the control ward, tries to go for a quick burst on Lumao, and it's just caught. You can see he tries to go for the blast cone, but a ward from Lumao catches him out. And then here, this is the sick one from Tarzan. He interrupts the distortion, holding the queue for it. So well played.
Yeah, so well timed as well. You can see him. He could go for it immediately to try and get it, but he knows he needs to stop the distortion in order to secure the kill. Very nicely done. And LNG, they're already back in this game. This goal's getting a lot closer than it was. I think game 1 and game 2 led us to believe that whoever gets the first 1,000 gold ends up with 8,000 in about 3 minutes after that. But a lot closer game this time around. Light somehow lost about all of his health bar, but I will say RA do have, as you mentioned, a win condition in that Infernal Soul. They've got themselves 2 dragons, and they're going to try and maybe make this one work. You still have the Rift Herald. Actually, no, you used the Rift Herald, excuse me, up in top side. So 2 towers to none for the moment in favor of LNG as they look to try and maybe make something work on the side lanes. But Panda C should still be strong on this Renekton to be able to make something, at least, you know, keep the rest of RA guessing.
This was the play that Strive was looking for earlier and wasn't able to find. I think he mistimed the final Q because he landed chains, but the Q didn't proc. I'm not sure if it would have killed him. But like that's the thing. It's like if you put your Q down and then the E procs, you'll get the damage. But I think you put the Q down after. So, this is aggressive.
Yeah, it's very aggressive. We're going to see.
Wow.
Wow.
Gale Force.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot of damage. And now we can see Panda C maybe in a little bit of trouble. Panda C going to be Panda dead. If he's not quite too careful, he will get the Dominus up and keep his health bar nice and healthy. Doomby does get the Hero's Charge, or Justice Punch, I should say, away to make sure that he does not get caught out by the Ethereal Chains. But now they're pushing it towards this mid lane. It'll be very difficult to really take this one down. You're quite short range on the side of RA. Not quite as easy to walk up and just take those structures.
Yeah, the TPs weren't so hot. I'm gonna be real. I feel like they saw Panda C, well, like we can get him, but really had no way to actually follow up. You know, maybe the charm from Zora had actually connected. Potentially, I could have seen it, but regardless, you get a pick, which is nice, but quite a lot invested in order to secure that.
Quite a lot invested, but did draw everyone from LNG up towards that mid lane, so Cube should be able to transition that into their first tower of the game. And like I said, the gold seems to be swinging so damn fast right now, as we can see that maybe Tarzan looking to try and make something happen bot side, but very difficult when he's already been caught out on vision. Has a Divine Sunder and building up towards... not quite sure exactly what a second item might be. It might be Anathemas, maybe. I always see health Ruby Crystals, and I always just assume they're going for something like that, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see, Ox. Be patient.
Yep. And I feel like you don't need to tell me that. You need to tell RA and LNG to be patient, because I feel like these two teams just... Like, we're having a full-on 3v3 just over the Raptors, right? These teams... Oh, Panda C's in trouble.
Panda C's in a lot of trouble. He does have flash available to him. Can he get to the gap in the wall, though? Maybe. Oh, he doesn't even... Oh, nicely done. You know what? Panda A. Panda A for him.
No way, bro.
Nah, I commend effort. He didn't die, but now someone else might be dying, as we're going to go straight into another fight. As we can see there, the Vi goes straight back in on top of this fight. The Galio was there, but just a little bit too late. Doonby trying to make this one work with a taunt, but Zora gets himself away, and now with the Winds of War trying to make this one work. Good call back of the feathers. Means that Strife's just kind of breaking ankles on the backside of this fight. TP going to be coming in as Panda A going to be trying to make something work in this fight, but not to be happening.
Bro, you cannot call that Panda A play, right? He nearly got solo killed, and yes, he flashed, he got away, but that is not a Panda A play. That is probably a Panda D play, maybe Panda C if I'm being generous. That's not a Panda A play. Miss me with this. And then, I hope this is a replay of the, what? Tarzan, I think he flashed over the wall and then R back in.
Yeah.
Like, watch, you like, did he like R flash?
So,
Yeah,
it was like, I'm leaving. Never mind. I'm going straight back in. But yeah, that was an interesting setup there from Tarzan, as we can see that they almost catch out the recall from
I don't even know what to say. It's just so unnecessary.
Look, okay, I'm gonna be real with people watching. We had a discussion. We said, look, Malden is all fine and well and dandy, but we don't need to be Malden all the time. It can get a bit old, of course. You know, we don't all have to be doing it. Sometimes, though, every now and again, it does end up getting some weird and funky interactions.
Honestly, dude, I just find this hilarious. So, like, you know, I'm enjoying this. Even though it doesn't sound like I am. There's a certain charm to this sort of gameplay now. Already going to secure the third dragon. LNG trying to posture for this tier 1 mid, but Strive's going.
Strive is going. Panda C is going to have to pop the Dominus just to keep himself alive. He is just as useless as everyone on Reddit thinks Renekton is. As right now, you can see the Cullen coming out, doing some decent damage, and Zora is dead. That's going to be a shutdown going over to the side of the Lucian, as Light finally gets himself relevant in this game. This game is not quite over just yet, despite 3 dragons over the side of RA. Some very good stats coming over to them. LNG, they still have options available to them.
I refuse to believe this game will ever be over. These teams are going to just fight it out constantly until the Nexus explodes. It's the... he's found him.
He's found Leyen. He's going to try and get him away from the blast cone, though, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Doonby gets himself in there. With the aftershock, he will take no damage. Tarzan does it again. We thought it was a little bit in, but I completely forgot about the hero's entrance.
Yeah, I mean, this is what he's trying to do before. It wasn't as cool this time because he didn't do the off flash, but he still managed. Yeah. Oh, look what Leanne just bought. Did you see that? He just bought his Zhonya's.
You know what,
Like,
guys? I think I need to
he's
get
been
this
working
item.
on this. He's been building this item for a while, and I just find the timing hilarious. So that play happens, and he's like, "Oh well, I have lasagnas now. Don't you dare try that again."
Strive knows there is a tower here, but Doonby should just be fine. Again, he's a Galio, he's a taunt, he's an aftershock. No real chance of killing him off there. But yeah, I think the next big fight is going to happen probably in the next 30 seconds. But where it should be happening is going to be in 3 minutes 30 seconds. As this mid lane turret has still yet to go down.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have been doing a solid job of just grouping mid to defend this. Now,
I did say 30 seconds. I did say 30 seconds.
You can't kill Doinby. You can't kill Doinby. Don't even
they
try.
Don't care. They don't care, though. They're going to get them into a false sense of security because they're just going to say, cool, now they might be able to kill Doinby as 5 people are going to be here, and they're going to try and move this on top of him, but he does have a stopwatch, and the rest of the team are going to be helping him out, but yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited.
No, I'm not saying I'm getting you. I was just like all that lead up, and then we just get mid stopwatch. Cool. Yeah, they can't kill him, and we just go back to the teams once again, trying to set up these fights absolutely non-stop.
Oh man, it's just getting so close. It's times like this that I wish. Oh, Leanne might have to use that newly bought Zhonya's. Not quite able to bring him low enough to kill range, but. LNG now with this power spike. Lights almost got himself to 3 items. A 3-item Lucian is significant and is very scary.
Yeah, I mean, starting to get a decent amount of damage, but even then, I feel like iBoy, you know, as we start to lead later and later in this game, there is some scaling picks. Like, as much as Lucian isn't the best scaling AD carry, he's still an AD carry, he's still going to pump out damage. iBoy is becoming a bit of a threat. Cube is becoming problematic, so have to be a little bit wary. I do give RA the edge as this one goes later on. And now, this could be it, Sheen. The mid-tier 1. It's on its last legs.
I don't know. This might be like the Imperial Mandate from last game, but no, it should be an easy one to kind of secure. But we're going to see the Galio ultimate come in anyway. Stripes goes to try and run away. There's going to be the taunt down, and that is Cube dead. Cube not able to have any kind of impact, but it did cost his life, but they did finally get that tier 1 in mid. So positives for RA, but it's costing them a bit of gold just to get a gold.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with the mid-tier 1, it's not really about the gold. It's more about, like, opening up the map so you can be a bit more aggressive. It's actually really important they got it. Cube dying, not ideal, but at the end of the day, Dragon's up in a minute 30. He's going to be up in time. He's going to have TP as well, so not the biggest deal, I'd say. The only problem is now, like, I feel like LNG, if they start to get these big spikes going in the next fight, I think Light's going to have his IE soon. That's a little bit scary. That's a little bit scary.
Yeah. That's where I'm thinking. You're going to have Light recalling right now, pick up his IE, minute until Dragon spawns now. We're going to have a scrappy fight. But Ox, how do these teams want to set up? How do they want to make sure they are in the best possible position they can be in order to take this fight?
Yeah, so basically LNG want to do that combo we've seen from Tarzan, not the R-Flash one. I don't want to see that again.
I do. That was fun.
Yeah, it was hilarious. But we want to see them get onto someone like Strive maybe. Leanne now has a stopwatch, so it's a bit harder. But basically like a setup, a pick to start the fight, right? And then have Doinby come down on top of it, and they just start the fight in that manner. They get up close to them. Whereas RA, they kind of want to play a bit more for poke. Initially, they want to try and get some damage off with the Lily Spears with LeBlanc. And then ideally is, you know, if LNG try and engage, LNG maybe don't find the perfect engage, and things like the Xayah, the Rakan can really flourish. But you can see now they have control of the area. They're starting to throw out that poke and try and get some damage down.
Cube building up towards his Mega Gnar right now, and it's RA on the position. They have the power. They have 3 dragons. Even if they weren't in a good position here, Panda C. Half his health bar gone already. He needs to get onto the backside. That's basically what he needs to do. Tarzan just getting poked out by Strive. This poke composition, it feels like it's one of them, because with the feathers being thrown out, with the LeBlanc dashing in and out, you're able to do so much damage. Now, you're kind of fish in a barrel. They've started up the dragon. Strive is off on the side, though. Panda C pops a Dominus just to keep himself healthy. You can see Tarzan looking to see if he can maybe jump in on top of this one here. No one's deterring him just yet. Finally, they go in. They're going to get the smite down, and eventually, it's going to be secured. That's going to be the soul now for RA as the fight can really start to happen right now. iBoy's been jumped on by Panda C as he tries to take him out of this fight, but it's top laner for top laner. But LNG, they don't have the health bars, and Strife, he's hunting for blood. He knows he can go flash in with the distortion, and that's a dead fish. Now we're going to see Strife go back in because he had himself another opportunity, but now Light trying to see if he can make this one work. He gets the kill on the Strife, but he eventually falls down. Doonby going to land the taunt to try and give his jungler a little bit of space and will eventually flash away. Leanne still hunting, but Leanne will not find anything else.
Oh, Lian manages to secure the dragon. That's huge. Even though they won the fight as well, I think securing the soul was probably the biggest thing there. But they get the follow-up fight as well. Strive popping off the LeBlanc, and the cleanup is there. And now 3k gold lead and that infernal soul. Remember, all those dragons have been buffed. It's 9% armor NMR, 7% out of combat movement speed, slow resist. But it's the infernal dragons, 12% 80 in AP. Really going to pay off later in the game. And Pandas,
he sees him, but don't know if he wants to go for this one just yet.
Man,
Zora not going to go for it.
Confidence from iBoy. That is such a flex, man. Just like, yeah, you try it. Okay, we're going to replay.
It.
So just to preset this, Pandas and Tarzan already chunked out, already poked down. Perfect setup from RA to already get that damage in. And then Tarzan goes in, but Cube goes interruption, tries to burst him down. And then obviously we see the smite come in, but stopwatch from Tarzan means he can't actually finish off the Baron, whereas Lian can. And then this extended fight is so messy. We see Panassi looking for iBoy, gets very close, but the Peel squad come in to help. And then LNG are like, look, we didn't get the dragon, we just have to leave. But Strive finds this really nice kill. You even see Doinby go for the taunt. Like, that could have caught him out, but the flash at the right time. And then this ensuing fight, Light tries to go aggro, but picks the wrong target. He does get Strive in the end, realizes his mistake, but costs his life. And then we see the follow-up, not able to get any more kills, but still, really good setup from the fight for RA, and they secure the soul, which is, there for the rest of the game.
Yep, permanent buff right now. Strive's going to be able to keep doing this. Keep popping in, getting a bit of damage, popping back out, get the reset on the passive from the Infernal Soul, and just keep being an absolute nuisance. Lumao, ooh, nice side stuff there. But yeah, this is getting tough. You now have 3 items onto your AD carry. You're getting up to a 3rd item here onto Gnar and Tarzan. That's onto the support, and even then, culling doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's just not doing quite enough damage at this point. I mean, Light is strong, don't get me wrong, but kind of needs low doms to cut through the tankier targets. But yeah, I feel like, despite the fact there's a big lead for RA, this game isn't over. There's a lot of squishy targets on the side of RA. And LNG have like a point-and-click combo that can just decimate.
I mean,
they are starting the Baron.
This is a bit risky, but...
Yeah, one thing to note, it's a healthy Baron. They have healing from the Nidalee and the Rakan, so they shouldn't drop too much health.
They got it.
Tarzan can get in the pit.
No, he can't. He can't get in because we're going to have Zara getting in straight away with the quickness. He even gets himself over the wall to make sure he doesn't die. The Winds of War are not going to be quite good enough. Cube, though, no flash available, which means he will not get himself a Baron buff.
Alright, back out.
Yeah, you got to leave.
4v5, you got the Baron. Good job. I like the fact that Zora went over the wall to play Interrupt. I think Cube overstepped, if I'm going to be honest. But they get the Baron, they get out. It's a success. The only thing I'm nervous about, right? Let's be real, Ashin. This game has been a back and forth. It's been a little bit messy, okay? I don't think RA end of this Baron, right? I'm gonna be honest. And there's Elder in 2 minutes 20.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Elder's gonna be such a flip, right? Because depending on which team secures. Okay, doesn't connect. Because like that's the thing is like the reason teams are often so hesitant around Elder is because even if you're like ahead in gold, if the objective gets low and it gets flipped. And let's say LNG, they're 5k gold down, they don't have soul. But if LNG gets get Elder, they just probably, like, 9 times out of 10 just win the ensuing fight, right? Unless they've already lost the fight before they secure it, they will just win. So it makes it super scary. And I'm kind of nervous for RA. Oh, I'm nervous for Lumao.
Oh, he just about keeps himself alive. He doesn't want to use that summoner heal, but he's gonna have to, and he's still gonna die. That is the power of this Nidalee pick here for Lian. He's been a bit quiet, if I do say so myself, but definitely coming into Light's TP going to be bringing Strive into this, as you do have almost full items now onto Light. But like you said, just not really having that long distance impact. And that minion, I'm going to name him Charles, and Charles shall do a hell of a lot of damage. The quickness comes out as Panda C goes golden. Going to have to use that stopwatch he just newly purchased. And now Light seeing if he could go for a trade back, but very, very difficult to do so. Now, without the Baron buff, it was a... Charles did have to sacrifice his life in the service of the duty, as he didn't have the morale-boosting Baron there. But look at the damage. This is poke, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really hard to threaten iBoy because he's playing the Xayah. It's worked out so well into LNG's comp because, like, realistically at this point, you can't jump on Lian because he has Zhonya's. You can't jump on an iBoy because he has ultimate. Strive, you can, but he's so mobile. Often you might end up in a position you don't want to be. Cube's a tank. Zora's super mobile. Oh.
Oh, they're looking for them, but they're going to bring Strife all the way back here. The Galio's going to have his ultimate down on the 3 members. They've lost the tier 2 and top side, but you can see Tarzan just really hasn't got anywhere to go, so he has to immediately go straight in on the backside. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of RA, and they're going to have the damage basically in their favor. But look at Light. Light's doing huge right now, and they keep doing Me alive. They need to keep Light alive. He's your carry. One more auto attack will take him down, and Lumao is left to try and go for the traps are there, but they're not going to be hit. It's going to be a double kill over the Cube, and this should be just the game. RA with the upset over LNG.
Yeah, it's up to Doinby to try and defend. I don't think he can do it, but he's going to give his best efforts.
He's going to try his very, very best, but you can see there's a quickness coming back in. Doinby does not have his Zhonya's here, so he's just trying to defend on his own. So trying to use his Winds of War, but that's a big tanky minion. Leyen is almost taken down, but he's not quite done. RA will say Happy Valentine's Day to LNG, and will bring them down to 7 and 8. Oh, well, yes, okay, Jesus, I thought that was going to be very close, but that is a massive upset there for RA.
Huge for RA to bring this one out with Leyen's Nidalee. Really good game from that. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, there was a lot of mess in this game, but it was hilarious. I loved it, right? And LNG get defeated, and this, I'm gonna say it, this might well be the game, that the series that keeps LNG from making playoffs, because at this point, 7 and 8, they need to beat Weibo to get 8 wins. We often talk about 8 wins being the cutoff point, but also we had that graphic earlier. A lot of teams are going to should be making 8 wins, right? And the fact that RA have potentially denied that possibility from LNG, that is a painful loss to take. But RA, you know, 2 and 11 prior to this, 16th in the league. I just want to say, fantastic, absolutely fantastic from them. I love that. I love that series.
Honestly, if you can't play with the big boys up here, play them on your level. I'm gonna sneeze. But yeah, coming back, sorry, it just hit me. I had to go for it. But yeah, if you can't play the top levels, you're gonna have to bring them back down to yours, and that's just basically how this one works out for both these sides. And honestly, it just felt good. I think we finally saw a lot of the positives that we really did expect to see from the likes of Strife and Leyen all split. I think that the bot lane has finally looked good. I think that Zora was a great addition to this roster over Yuyanja. So this is a team that hadn't changed a lot, to be perfectly honest, from spring into summer. Disappointing they're not making playoffs because they made them in spring, but that was a great win. Honestly, I'm super impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like game 1, they brought out this draft that, you know, I wasn't super sold on, I'll be honest, but like it made sense and they executed really well. Game 2, I think the draft really hamstrung them, but game 3, like it was a battle, but it felt like they had the edge throughout. It definitely felt messy, but secure in the Infernal Soul. And I just feel like they set up the fights. They understood what the composition needed to do. And that was kind of the same in game 1. In game 1, they had this poke comp with the vision denial. I just think they're playing quite smart, in all honesty. There's definitely still a lot of mistakes. Don't get me wrong. This is not a flawless team by any means. They wouldn't be in this position if they were. But there's positives. And I think like that's something they can take away. They still have series left at the end of the split. But at the end of the day, like, you know, teams will go to playoffs, teams will go to Worlds, the World Champion will be crowned, but there's still going to be another year of the LPL, and there'll be another after that, and another after that. So even if you're not making it into playoffs, it's still important to show what you can do in these series and show the potential. And I think RA really managed to do that today.
I mean, if you think about the LPL as a whole, or even the ecosystem of League of Legends in China as well, the LDL has 20 teams. I think it's 20. I think it could be more, actually. It could be 22. But you have 20 teams, a minimum in LDL. There's a massive pool of talent. That is 100 players in total trying to get themselves into the LPL. The LPL itself has obviously 17 teams. That's 85 players. These are things that all of a sudden you're looking at and kind of saying like, yeah, is every single player going to be the next god tier faker? Probably not. But you can still show the positives. You can still show what you can do. And you have to be competitive. You have to be showing that you're worthy of your spot. You're worthy of your place in the league, because you may lose it just like that.
And at the end of the day, like sometimes you can see players who, you know, it's not going super fantastically like in a split, but you can still see these shining lights, and they get put in a different roster and they absolutely pop off. I mean, like you look at how much Breathe was struggling on BLG, and now on RNG, you know, they're looking like one of the favorites for the whole thing. So definitely, I mean, obviously Breathe is someone who has had a lot of experience under his belt, but I think there's a lot to be said regardless. And yeah, I mean, this game, definitely a bit chaotic energy, but it was still RA who had the control throughout, managed to secure those 4 dragons, which, as we said, even more valuable in this one. And LNG, just too many mistakes, and this may be their most costly one.
Yeah, this is not a good moment here for LNG. Not only is it bring their score down to 7 and 8, which means they can only hit a top of 8 and 8 in their last series, which is against Weibo next week. It also means that they are relying on either head-to-heads or game difference. They're on a -1 game difference, and it's so close between so many of our teams, between FBX, Anyone's Legend, OMG, LNG, TT. Everyone is still just punching up, trying to find as good of an advantage as they possibly can. And as much as we're saying like 8 and 8 might be good enough, you know, you're kind of hoping as well that if everyone else drops series, you might be good enough with 7, but that's not exactly confidence inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely isn't. It's definitely not a comfortable position to be in. And as well, like, I think Weibo are a hard opponent. Like, we look at TT, we hit on that graphic earlier. TT's got some easier teams to face. OMG should probably get 8 wins. TT should probably get 8 wins. FBX could, but they have to face Weibo as well. AL need an upset for 8 wins. But even then, like, these are a lot of teams that are contesting and could possibly make 8 wins. It's not a comfortable spot. In fact, if you're on 7 wins, BLG might even be able to catch in terms of wins, although I think their game difference is a little bit painful, but it's still not out of the realms of possibilities, I think. But regardless, like, painful for LNG. And it's kind of crazy after that game too, which I feel like they executed on so well, to have this one where they really just seemed to struggle. I think particularly top and jungle. I think Doinby still had some good moments. I think Light tried his best, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, and I love how you called it as well. You talked about like game 1, RA dominated, game 2, LNG dominated. As soon as we went into Champ Select, you were like, these guys are going to go head to head at every single moment. And it was literally that. There was battles across the entirety of it. And it did feel like small execution mistakes just kind of messed it up there for LNG. I think right back to the first blood where Panda C just, why are you going for that trade into the Gnar? Why are you giving up first blood when you can see him hit level 6? You can see him going to get into Mega Gnar. Like, there's just no reason for it. So it's small moments like that that just kind of are gonna haunt you a little bit, I feel, when you're coming into the end of the split and you only have 1 series left. And honestly, even with that 1 series, you're 7 and 8, you're gonna be maybe 8 and 8. It's out of your hands, in my opinion. You're kind of waiting for other people to fall rather than for you to rise.
Yeah, like 8 and 8 should be good, but should be good doesn't feel like a nice thing to go into. And also, Weibo are not an easy opponent, right? Weibo are volatile. I'm gonna say, like, Weibo, yes, they beat V5, but like, I feel like it's hard to read Weibo's level. But also, I'm just gonna be real. I don't think LNG beat Weibo because I think the Shy is just gonna, Shy against
Shy is gonna do things to whoever is in top lane that you're not allowed to say on broadcast.
I don't think Panda C will hold up to the Shy. I'm not sure. We haven't seen Ole for a little bit, so I'm not sure what form he's going to be in necessarily. But that is going to be a rough one regardless. So I am not super confident in them going up against Weibo, and they kind of need that. They kind of need that win if they want to keep things at least healthy. It's still plausible that they make it into playoffs even if they lose to Weibo, but again, it's out of your hands, and you don't want to be put in that position. This is when we get this late in the split, when these teams are close to qualifying for playoffs. Any upset is so painful. Yeah,
it feels like any time you drop a series that you shouldn't have, it's just going to make it harder and harder for you. But we got our MVP from that game. It is Strive coming in the mid lane. Honestly, I can't really blame this one here. The LeBlanc pick just worked so damn well. Just became a nuisance. And yeah, look, didn't have the flashiest of kills, but that's not what he needed because the damage he did was so relevant.
Yeah, 100%. Like, constantly getting off the pokes, setting up the plays. And this feels good because Strive kind of got bodied in game 2, realistically, by Doinby's Renekton. Whereas in this one, he was the one dictating the pace. Remember, significant CS leads in the early game and then constantly being this annoying threat. And especially when you have 3 melee champions, a squishy support, a short-range AD carry, that is like LeBlanc's, just stomping grounds. That is ideal scenario because you have targets you can burst, and you have melee champions you can run circles around.
Just did everything he needed to do. And even here, I still think, you can't really do a lot more here as Panda C, but you just knew as RA, they made the call saying, look, we can make this happen. We know we can do this without getting any casualties, and that's all they needed to do. So little things like this, just kind of keeping Doonby at bay, saying, look, you're going to try and, now you're away. I can move forward. As soon as he sees that Galio ultimate, you can see him. He's like, don't need to panic. Don't need to go crazy. I just need to be relevant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, I feel like Strive is someone who we've had a lot of positive views since he came into the league. He came up in spring, and there was like that series against Xiaohu where he like played Victor into Xiaohu's Corki 2 games in a row and really bullied him out. I think Strive has a lot of potential, and I feel like games like these, as much as RA has struggled, I feel like Strive is someone that teams should have their eye on going forwards.
Oh, for sure.
At some point, we have the current top tier mid laners in the LPL. We have here Xiaohu, Rookie, Knight, and Scout. But at some point, eventually they will probably move on and eventually retire. And at that point, like the next generation, I'm looking at mids like Strive to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're not going to be talking to Strive. It's Christina who's sitting by with Cube for the winner's interview.
Hello there, welcome to Post-Game Interview. I'm Christina. Congratulations to Reader Adam on taking down LNG. We're joined by Cube, the top liner for RA. Congratulations on your win. First question for you. How did you guys prepare for today's matchup, especially when you're facing LNG, which ranked higher result on standings? 欢迎 Cube 选手来到我们的赛后采访，同时也是恭喜 RA 拿下今天的比赛。那么今天这一场比赛呢，你们对阵到的是此前在积分榜上排名比较靠前的 LNG，在今天赛前有做什么样特殊的准备吗？
就今天赛前打你们的话就感觉我们应该是可以赢的吧，就我们之前也都有这种感觉吧，但是今天总算是赢了吧。
Actually, we do think that we can take down LNG before today's matchup. So although we have this idea in previous game, but it's fine that we did it in today's matchup. So second question for you, you guys totally control the whole situation in very early game in game 1. How did you guys manage to snowball the game smoothly? 接下来想要聊到的是，今天第一局上来 RA 这个气势非常凶猛，而且是在非常前期的时候呢，几乎可以说掌控所有局面。所以你们在第一局的时候是如何沟通，然后掌控局面，滚起雪球拿下比赛的呢？
第一把的话，我的话就感觉是拿到了比较一个喜欢的英雄吧，然后他们下半区的话就好像是一级入侵就拿到了优势吧，就。
So personally, I got my signature champ and I can play on this champ comfortably. And our bot, and they got so many leads from the level 1 invasion, so we can get ahead in game 1. So how do you guys adjust and review after losing game 2? Because from my perspective, LNG target on bot lane, especially maybe their top performers so great. So how did you guys manage to come back after losing game 2? 那么在第二局的时候，这个 LNG 好像是改变了局势，特别是可以看出他们好像对于下路针对的非常明显。那么即使是在第三局的前期，他们打也是频频针对下路做事。然后你在上路的当时的一个想法是什么呢？
就我的想法就是我发育好我自己的嘛，然后他们下路就打野帮他们稳住吧。
I just told my teammates, so calm down. And I think I just need to do my best, try to farm well on ball lane. Well, actually, I would say your performance is so great, including a lot of solo kills, and you got more CS than fantasy. So how would you evaluate your performance today? 那么说到你刚才在上路的一个想法，确实今天在上路也有精彩的单杀，然后有很多几波关键的操作，这个补刀上面一直都是压制对面。你觉得今天自己的表现还满意吗？
就今天的表现就还可以吧，就意料之中吧。
Actually, I think I perform okay, and I have thought about this. So, final question for you. Coming to the new patch, people are talking about the role of each position. So, there is some people are thinking that maybe the mid laner and bot lane play more important role for the whole situation. So, what's your take on this as a top laner? especially in this new meta。最后一个问题想要问到 Cube 选手，其实现在来到新版本之后，很多人就开始在讨论，会不会是中路和下路，因为这个小龙优先级提升之后，中下好像在游戏当中呢更能起决定性的作用。那么作为一名上路选手，你是如何看待上单这个位置在新版本中会不会定位有什么变化啊，或者说他的角色会有哪些变化呢？
就感觉一直都是那样吧，就挺难参与到下面的，除非就你一直去搬队友吧。
I think it's really hard for top laner to join the skirmishes or team fight into the around the lower half of the map. So it's hard to join a team fight on mid lane or bot lane. But by the way, I want to say so. Thank you so much for joining me, and I do hope Rear Adam can show better performance in upcoming matchup. Thank you so much, Cube. 最后呢，也想说一下，真的很开心能够采访到 RA，也期待 RA 在接下来所剩不多的比赛当中打出风采。再次感谢 Cube 选手来到赛后采访，拜拜。Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Christina, and of course, Cube, for the fantastic interview. And yeah, kind of talking about top lane in the new patch. I like what he was saying there as well. I was going to say, look, it's difficult to really have an impact when you're trying to catch sideways. And it does feel like with the way the game has moved and the objectives being so important, it does feel like we are going to start to see a new style of top lane kind of maybe take the forefront.
Let's be real, dude. Top laners, they've been through this. Oh,
Yeah,
we don't
they
have
know.
much impact anymore. Oh, wow. This is so new and foreign. Like, for anyone who doesn't remember the lane swap meta, man,
Yeah.
top laners had it rough, dude. This is
They
nothing
did.
compared to that. So, you know, still able to at least have some impact, I feel. But yeah, good,
Yeah.
great interview.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting time to see now how 12-14 and beyond does end up impacting our playoffs and whatnot. And we'll see now with our results for today. If you're just joining us, you missed out, honestly, in a banger of a Game 3 between LNG and our RA. But it was a pretty standard start with EDG kind of trouncing WE. Feels like an eternity ago. And then RA taking the upset win and honestly putting LNG into such a hole.
Yeah, they are in the danger zone right now, honestly. And who knows, right? They have to go up against Weibo, which I think will be a very rough matchup for them. That still gives them potential to make it 8 wins, but the fact they didn't secure this series is actually honestly devastating. I feel like if they'd gotten 8 wins, that probably would have been enough to make it to playoffs. I don't know anymore. I feel like it's just made the playoff race a lot closer, but I know teams like AL, who as much as they're 7 and 6, have a very hard schedule, feel very good after seeing LNG take that loss. I know FPX, BLG, both of those. Basically, everyone who doesn't have a color on their name really
Very
appreciates the fact that RA got that upset, right?
I mean, even like someone like BLG as well. Like we look at this team, and even IG kind of come into the conversation all of a sudden again. If they IG could beat RNG tomorrow,
Maybe not LGD. Maybe not LGD.
Maybe not
are a bit far away.
I'm gonna call them like I see them. LGD are a bit far away, but if IG can win against RNG later on this week, that could be a big thing. But yeah, the playoff race is becoming a hell of a lot closer right now as we come up to the final few days. Only 10 more days, 20 more series left to play before we have our final results and we go into the postseason, go into playoffs. But we can tell you what 2 of those games will be tomorrow, because tomorrow we got ourselves 2 relatively important games, actually. Well, one more so than the other. I think if LGD lose this one, they are out. If they lose Top Esports, they are done. That will be them officially in the out of playoffs conversation. But BLG OMG is actually such a massive series there, because if BLG make the upset, we have a much bigger conversation.
Yeah, I mean, BLG need this win if they want to keep their hopes alive. So if BLG win that and then they beat WE, which is expected, they would be on 7 wins. And with what happened to LNG, that puts them with a good chance. OMG, on the other hand, they also have IG to play. So I feel like their schedule is kind of not too bad. But if they do lose this one, I mean, we just saw RA upset LNG. You definitely just want to take the series win. And obviously, Top Esports looking to continue their winning streak. And, you know, Top Esports are the only team in the league still on 1 loss. So if they keep winning, you know, they even have V5 to play in week 10. But if they keep winning, we could just see them ended up being first as a result of that.
Yeah, they still have 2 or 3 big matches, or well, realistically they've got 2 big matches left. V5 versus AL are kind of the last 2 we really see, but that is all the time for AL. This feels like an eternity ago, doesn't
My
it?
dudes, please.
My
bounce back.
dudes.
I'm waiting. I vouched for you.
You can keep on waiting. Looks like both yourself and Lyric might be in the bad books of who will be making playoffs. You went for AL, he went for Ultra Prime. In fairness, I went for Ultra Prime as well. It wasn't to be, but that is all we have time for today.
Already.
I know, right? That is all we have time for today. Thank you again, Ox, for bringing me through the weird and wonderful world of the LPL. Thank you, of course, for watching us, and a thank you to all of our people behind the camera. Without them, none of this would be possible. We'll be back at the same time, at the same channel tomorrow.